The West Asia war has dented Dubai's gleaming image as the world's safest city.
Dubai's long-standing reputation as a safe haven is currently facing its most significant challenge.
People in the last 24 hours, certainly overnight, were fleeing Dubai and heading for the Oman border.
Have you been watching the news and wondering whether Dubai is still a safe place to invest, live, or build a second base? Has the recent conflict changed everything? And if you are considering a Dubai Golden Visa, should you move forward or should you wait? These are exactly the questions many investors and families have been asking over the last few months. And the answer may surprise you, because while the headlines focus on the conflict, something much bigger happened behind the scenes. Something that revealed how the UAE actually treats its residents when a real crisis occurs. And by the end of this video, you will understand why many investors now see UAE Golden Visa even more valuable than before. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Paresh Karia. For over 2 decades, I have worked across banking, financial services, real estate, and investment migration, advising families, entrepreneurs, and professionals on global investment and residency planning. Today, let's discuss what happened during the regional conflict and what it means for the future of UAE Golden Visa. Before we talk about the conflict itself, we need to understand what was already happening in the UAE before it all started. The truth is that UAE has already been making major improvements to its Golden Visa program. Throughout 2025, the government quietly expanded eligibility across multiple sectors. The Golden Visa was no longer just for large investors or business owners. The UAE began actively attracting global talent. Technology professionals became a major focus. New pathways opened for AI engineers, blockchain specialists, cybersecurity experts, and digital innovators. At the same time, content creators, influencers, podcasters, filmmakers, and artists get more opportunities through initiatives such as Creators HQ. The country also expanded eligibility for professionals who contribute significantly to society, including experienced healthcare workers, educators, gaming professionals, and other skilled talent. Now, why does this matter? Because it shows UAE's long-term vision. They are not simply offering residency. They are building an ecosystem where people can thrive professionally and contribute to the future growth. Now let's talk about one of the most popular routes to the Golden Visa, the property investment pathway. And this is where many international investors saw a major opportunity. Historically, investors often needed to commit a significant amount of upfront capital to qualify. But in 2025, UAE introduced more flexibility. For example, if you qualify a property value as 2 million, the buyer may not need to pay the full amount upfront. Part of it can be financed through an approved mortgage subject to the required conditions. Off-plan properties from approved developers that required partial payment upfront may also be considered subject to eligibility and approval. For investors, this created more options. Instead of locking up large amounts of cash immediately, people could stagger their investments more strategically while still working towards a long-term residency. This made Dubai's property market even more attractive for international families seeking both investment potential and residency benefits. The UAE did not stop there. New visa categories were introduced. The government continued expanding digital services. Application systems became more efficient. Processing times improved. The overall message was clear. UAE was making it easier, not harder, for qualified and talented people to build their future there. Then everything changed. On February 28, 2026, regional conflict created uncertainty across parts of Middle East. Airspace restrictions were introduced. Flight schedules were disrupted. Travel became more complicated. And for a brief period, many residents and Golden Visa holders found themselves asking an uncomfortable question. What happens if I cannot get back home? This is the moment where governments are tested. It is easy to promote a residency program when everything is running smoothly. The real test comes during uncertainty. The real test comes during disruption. The real test comes when residents need support. And this is where UAE's response became extremely important. Rather than waiting for the situation to resolve itself, UAE authorities acted quickly. Government agencies coordinated efforts to assist residents affected by travel disruptions. Evacuation and return arrangements were activated. and pre-existing support systems including consular access and assistance channels for Golden Visa holders and residents were put into action. Now think about that for a moment. Most people evaluate residency programs based on application requirements, investment amounts, or processing times. But what many investors forget to ask is, what happens after I become a resident? How does the government respond when challenges arise? How committed are they to protect the people who choose their country? During this period, UAE provided a real-world answer. The government demonstrated that residency was more than a document. It was a relationship. And that distinction matters. For investors and families, that sends a powerful message. Stability is not just about economics. It is not just about real estate. It is not just about infrastructure. Stability is about leadership, preparation, and execution. Anyone can promise during good times. What separates countries is how they perform during difficult times. And many observers believe the UAE demonstrated strong institutional readiness during this period. Now let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture. When investors choose a residency by investment program, they are usually looking for several things. They want security, they want flexibility, they want access to a growing economy, they want a strong business environment, and they want options for their family's future. The UAE continues to offer all of these advantages. Dubai remains the world's most connected cities. It continues attracting entrepreneurs, multinational companies, investors, and talented professionals from around the globe. The tax environment remains highly attractive. Infrastructure remains world-class. Business opportunities continue expanding. And importantly, the government's long-term commitment to attracting international talent has not changed. If anything, the reforms introduced before the conflict suggest that UAE is becoming even more competitive. That is why many investors who were initially concerned are now asking a different question. Not should I avoid the UAE, but rather, am I waiting too long to take advantage of the opportunity? Of course, every family's situation is different. Every investor has different goals, and every residency decision should be made carefully. But based on what we have seen over the last years, the fundamentals that made UAE Golden Visa attractive remain firmly in place. In some ways, recent events provide something that marketing campaigns never can. Proof. Proof of how systems perform under pressure. Proof of how governments respond during uncertainty. Proof of whether residents truly matter. And for many Golden Visa holders, that proof was reassuring. So is Dubai still worth it? In my professional opinion, yes. The country continues to invest heavily in its future. Eligibility pathways have expanded. Property investment options have become more flexible. Processing systems have improved. And when a real challenge emerged, the UAE demonstrated its ability to support residents and maintain stability. For investors, entrepreneurs, and families looking for long-term residency, those are important signals. If you have been considering the UAE Golden Visa, now may be the right time to evaluate your options seriously. The opportunity remains strong, and understanding the available pathways today could help you make a more informed decision for tomorrow. If you are exploring the UAE Golden Visa for yourself or your family, speak to Acquest advisors to understand the right pathway, eligibility, investment structure, and documentation before making a decision. And I would also like to hear from you. Has the UAE's response during the crisis increased your confidence in Dubai? Or do you still have concerns? Let me know in the comments below. Like this video if it was helpful. Subscribe for more updates on global residency and investment migration, and share it with someone considering the UAE Golden Visa.